Coach.
Hey, how we doing?
Good.
Good. All right, fun week coming off a bye. I think our guys got some great work in this past week and have really sprung into action this next week as well. They had great energy today and excited about getting to play a great opponent. This can be a fun game, certainly a fun environment. Ready to go attack it.
We'll start on the right here with Zach.
Such a hostile environment. How important is it for you guys to be able to get out to a really good start and really kind of get the momentum early in this game?
Yeah, I think it's about the start, the middle, and the finish in this one, right? You want to start well. They've had some games where they were able to start off really fast so far this season. I think, it's 14-0 against Cal before their offense even touched. They've won by, more than 27 points. I think last week was the one game where it came back and got to be a little bit close at the end, but really they had control of that game as well for the most part. So they've proven to be a team that can start fast. We have to make sure we can do the same.
On the left, same row, Eric.
When it comes to motivating your team this week, how much do you lean into last year's game, revenge, and all that, or is that you put that behind you at this point?
Yeah, I don't think it's necessary. I mean, I think every one of our players know exactly what this game means to them, personally in that room, and then, also just to everybody that, that's a Duck fan. And they want to win. When they step on the field, it really doesn't matter who we're playing. They want to go out there and they want to go compete at a high level.
Front row, James, on the left.
How has Penix become so much more accurate and efficient on first and second downs, where he was already good a year ago, but now he's over 70, nearly 80% in a couple of those spots?
I think that happens with experience and time, and getting, he's obviously got a great wide receiver core. They've done a really good job schematically at finding ways for him to be able to throw people open. And he has great vision down the field. I think he's also being well protected, right? They're not getting a lot of hits on the quarterback, and that's going to lead to more completions.
Right here on the right.
Washington struggled their last time out against Arizona. What were some of the big things you picked up or weak points that you noticed from that game?
I don't know that they really struggled. Watching that game, they took away a lot of the deep passing game, but they were able to do a good job with the checkdowns, and they were able to run the ball in the red area. I know they had a fumble, down there in the red area that certainly hurt them. But I thought they had a lot of success in that game. Like I said, it became a little bit closer at the end, but really in the game, they seemed to be in control most of it.
All the way in the back, Matt.
Seems like the receiving core has the attention of the NFL. Three guys have drawn the attention. Just how unique is that to face a team that's got three guys that are that good, and just kind of the stress it's going to put on you guys?
Yeah, it's extremely unique. A lot of times you'll go into a week and say, okay, we can't let this one guy beat us, right? And the reality is for them, they have several guys that they can get the ball to, distribute the ball to, several guys that have gone over 100 yards in multiple games this year. So you have to have a focus on all of them.
Back right, Trevor.
Last year, JPJ played his most snaps in a game against Washington, obviously a big spot. So how much do you think playing that many snaps in a big game kind of helped propel him into the big year he's having this year?
Yeah, I think the experience that Jackson was able to get for our team last year, not just in the Washington games, but in a lot of games last year, has really set him up for success this year, and he's proven to be a good player for us.
Front right, Zach.
Not sure that we're really talking about Johnny Cornelius enough this year and what he's been able to do. What have you made from the start of his year, and kind of what's allowed him to be so successful at that right tackle spot?
Yeah, I'm really pleased with the Johnny's progress. I wish everyone could see where he started when he first got here this spring and what he's been able to do, throughout the spring in his development and all the way into the fall. He's proven to be one of the best tackles in the league right now. I think he's playing at a really high level, but I know he has a high bar for himself, and he wants to get even better, and I think he will. He's done a phenomenal job. I think it's credit to the people around him and the coaching staff. I think the league's done a phenomenal job of developing him, but I know he's hungry to get better.
Second row on the left, Eric.
You kind of touched on it earlier, but their ability to protect Penix while also throwing the ball so much. Like, how do they accomplish that? What impresses you there?
They probably give the biggest variety of pre-snap motions and shifts of any team that we've played so far this year. They have a great deep passing attack, but I think also Mike has the ability to get rid of the ball when he does have pressure on him. So I think when he knows if somebody's free, he knows where it's coming from. And he does a good job eluding that pressure. There's a couple times last year where we had him hemmed up and we didn't finish. He did a good job avoiding it. He probably doesn't get enough credit for that.
Front left, James.
Go back to the receiving core for a moment. You faced some great ones while you were at Georgia. The 19 LSU receiving core, the 20 Alabama receiving core. There was a Florida core in there with Pitts at tight end. What makes this one unique, where those were also really deep and had three NFL guys apiece? What makes this one unique and what they have and how you try to counter it?
Yeah, similar to all those guys, our coaches mentioned earlier today, we're watching film that they never really go down after contact. Like, this is these guys play wide out with a little more of a running back mentality when they do get the ball. It's gonna take everybody on them to get them down. They catch the ball really well. in tight windows. I know they're throwing him open a lot of times too, but there's a lot of catches that they make that are contested catches. That's where they've separated themselves.
In the back, Matt.
Sorry, I just forgot.
Hey, it's not as easy as they think, is it? You get the mic, it's like, what do you do?
Just the importance of the emotions of this game and going on the road week 2. How much does that help you guys be prepared for this environment? I know they're different stadiums, different fan bases and whatnot, but just being on the road already this season and playing in a hostile environment.
Yeah, hostile can be fun. I think this one will be one of those environments where there's going to be a lot of distractions, a lot of a lot of pieces going on outside the puzzle, but we were really focused on being the eye of the storm, the calm within the storm, and I think our guys will handle that well.
Front right, Zach.
Obviously, important game for all of your players, but what do you think this rivalry really means to Taki, having seen both sides of the coin?
Yeah, we've had a couple players now that have got to go against their last team that they were a part of, and I certainly think that means a lot to Taki. To say it doesn't would be a lie. So he's been having a great year for us. I expect him to go out there and perform really well.
Second row left, Eric.
Just your entire defensive back unit, and I probably could see a lot of them in the field together, but just the preparation, the excitedness, the challenge that they're going to be faced.
Yeah, they're ready to go compete. Again, you do this so you can go play in games, and games like this, rivalry games that mean a lot. I think that's important. Our guys have been playing to a high standard so far this year, but this is certainly our best test that we've had to this point. So it'll be fun to see them go operate.
Back right, Trevor.
You've been talking about this 20-mile march a lot, especially in those cinematic videos. Do you feel like your team has made that 20-mile march every week, or are you still looking for that completion of that task?
I've been really pleased with our progress every day. Since fall camp, I feel like our players have certainly came and attacked every single day, looked for a way to get better, embrace the strain and the grind of football season, and looking for them to continue to do that.
Front left, James.
Their havoc plays aren't necessarily there, but Trice and ZTF are certainly two of the better edge guys in this league that you'll face so far. What is it about them that makes them challenging, and how have teams been able to so far neutralize them a bit, albeit in a small sample this season?
Yeah, I think, again, what you just said, the stats don't necessarily indicate the impact that they're having on the games. They use their hands really well, and they're really explosive players. I think they play with a variety of techniques, too, that show up. You don't always know if they're going to be tied to the line of scrimmage or if they're going to be up the field, and they create a lot of disruption. So there's people that you have to know where they're at all times.
Eric, here on the left.
You talked, I guess, last week about connection and getting closer together this past week. You feel like you accomplished that, and obviously we saw in the video the magician that came in. I guess
it's wild, wasn't it?
It was impressive stuff.
I wish you guys could have seen it firsthand. Yeah, no, I mean, that's an everyday process. That's not just a one week deal. But I'm really pleased with the community service that our guys got to do. That was something that was big for them. And then we had a family dinner. We got to spend some time with each other, and then obviously finding a couple ways to connect outside of that was a lot of fun.
Front left, James.
Bose certainly has had many big games in his career and many top 10 games on the road, but the success hasn't necessarily followed there. This presents another opportunity to change some of that. How do you go about setting the message with him privately this week, where it's respecting and understanding what is before him without making it too big, but this is a very big opportunity for him in a matchup with another Heisman candidate quarterback?
What's the exact question?
What is the message that you try to get to him of appreciating how big this opportunity is, that something he's faced before, while also maybe not making it too big, but appreciating exactly how big it is?
Yeah, I don't have to do any of that with Bo. He's a pro. Again, and it wouldn't matter who he's competing against. When he steps on the field, he knows what he wants to do. He knows what he's capable of, and how he can perform. I think this is why guys like Bo come to Oregon, to get to play in games like this. So this moment certainly isn't too big. I don't have to give him any encrypted message. Bo, go out there and do your thing. That's all I got to tell him.
Front right, Zach.
Building off of Eric's question, was the Rubik's Cube the most impressive thing you saw the magician do, or what else was it?
He did some stuff, man. No, it was not. I mean, that was impressive, but no, it was not. There was a couple other tricks that he pulled out. I'll have to tell you about them at some point.
All the way in the back, Matt.
Past offseason, your staff said sacks needed more pressure at the quarterback. They've gone up this season. What's the adjustment you've seen from this year to last year to accomplish that? And just, is this going to be a game that sacks are possible, or is their offense one in which just ball gets out so quick?
Well, they throw the ball a lot, right? So there's going to be potentially opportunities, but they've done a great job protecting. I think it's about taking advantage of opportunities when they present themselves, not trying to force something. You know, it starts with personnel. When you have great personnel and multiple guys that can play, I think that helps. And we've had a lot of guys that can play that, you know, in some ways their snap counts might have been diminished, but their performance has actually stepped up. And I think that's something that our guys have really embraced.
Front left, James.
As you've been here for nearly 2 years now, just how have you grown to appreciate what this rivalry means to these programs and the like? Because this is the 9th time in 32 meetings that it's of ranked teams, and it's the biggest and it's the highest of all time. But in terms of nationally, that would rank pretty well to be 9 out of 33 meetings of that ilk. So how have you grown to appreciate what this does mean, and to be closing the Pac-12 era of it and opening the Big Ten era of it as the head coach?
Yeah, obviously a big game, and no game is bigger than the next one, right? It's the next game. That's why it's a big game for us. But I think it's great that you know, their teams put themselves in position to create this environment, and our team's, you know, done this to create the same environment. So it'll be exciting. Certainly appreciate this rivalry, and it'll be fun for us out there.
Back right, Trevor.
Just when you look at the quarterbacks you've already had to face, the ones coming ahead, including Penix, I mean, have you seen a conference, a schedule this packed with quarterback talent all at the same time?
No, I have not. I think it's really impressive. There's great quarterback play in this league right now, and we're going to get to, like I said before, we're going to get to see all of them. So this is certainly, I think, you know, one of the best, if not the best, that we've seen so far. He's a really talented player, and he's playing at a really high level.
Back. Back. Matt, sorry. I'm with you. Sorry.
Sorry. You mentioned guys, maybe reps or snap counts have gone down, but their production's gone up. Steve Stevens feels like that's another example of that. Just what has he done this season to play at such a high level?
Steve Steady Eddie, man. This guy prepares every single day, unbelievably. He's really a coach on the field. He's a great communicator. I think he starts on 3 special teams for us right now, and that's, you know, really where his role started a lot at the beginning of this season. And now every time that, you know, his name gets called, he answers the call. So this will be a big game for him, and we have to perform well in the back end, have to perform well on specials, and he's done a good job of that so far this year.
Last question, James.
You expecting Kyrie and Brian Addison to be able to go this week?
I am.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.